Now let's take a much closer look at exactly how the leaders of various Asian countries, the Caucasus region, and more generally, leaders from other regions and parts of the world have punished Putin in the year 2025 and how they will continue to punish him in the year 2026.
They just ditched him. And
let's start specifically with Erdogan and Turkey. But here, I repeat, Putin is really digging his own grave with his own hands. We struck hard. We struck hard. We struck hard. This large cargo ship sailing under the Turkish flag was traveling from a Ukrainian port to Turkey. We struck hard. And it was this very same ship that was attacked by a Russian kamikaze drone. We struck hard. And before that, Russian drones started falling in Turkey. How do you like that?
A Russian Orlan crashed. Near Istanbul, local residents found the drone in a field. This is the second incident in a NATO country this week. Earlier, the Turks shot them down, with fighter jets as the target. Russian equipment got lost by hundreds of kilometers. Or is this brazen reconnaissance? And
indeed, the whole world is holding its breath. How and with what will Erdogan respond?
Turkey will strike back at Russia in response. There is a sharp reaction from the foreign ministry. What will the president's reaction be?
I think that militarily Erdogan will hit back very quickly and soon at the Russian Federation. But for now, the president of Turkey is acting more subtly. He is humiliating Putin on the diplomatic front, but, with a kind of military undertone, a certain flavor to it.
Turkey intends to return the S-400 surface-to-air missile systems to Russia, which it purchased almost 10 years ago. Abandoning the S-400s will ease tensions in relations with the US and NATO that arose after the deal with Moscow, and will open the way for Turkey to acquire American F-35 fighter jets, which it has long sought.
And here, friends, I suggest we dig a little deeper. This will be interesting. Yes, this is our regular segment, but why? So why does Erdogan have a pathological hatred for Putin?
Well, just because honestly, that's simply just the way it is, and sometimes that's all there is to it.
Don't lie, you nasty little Putinist, there is a specific reason. After all, in reality, Putin didn't attack NATO just yesterday or today, but actually 10 years ago. Back then, the target was specifically Turkey, yes, with Erdogan at the helm.
In 2015, Turkey shot down a Russian Su-24 after just 5 minutes of violating its border. The pilot was killed, and Putin never dared to mess with Ankara again.
Yeah, and back then, in distant 2015, after the annexation of Crimea, Recep Tayyip Erdogan made the following statement. Erdogan warned Russia that it would lose a lot by forfeiting its friendship with Ankara. According to him, Turkey will not tolerate violations of its airspace by Russian military aircraft. Clear, tough, in a language Putin understands. None of that unnecessary diplomacy. And what about Putin? Nothing. He became panic-stricken with fear of Recep Tayyip. Just listen to the things he says about the Turkish leader.
President Erdogan, as a leader, never allows anyone to walk all over him.
And honestly, I'm actually afraid to say anything about Erdogan right now because it would hurt.
To act in the interests of third countries. And
even back then, in 2014, the leader of Turkey clearly understood who Putin was, to publicly humiliate the bunker dweller at the first opportunity. Look at how, during the meeting in Tehran, Putin, like a schoolboy, waits for a whole minute until Erdogan deigns to appear. And it was right after this that the leader of Turkey told the whole world, Crimea is Ukraine.
Turkey does not recognize the annexation of Crimea. This step is illegitimate and unlawful. We have said this since the very first day the territory was seized.
And what do you think? Is that all? No, that was just a knockdown for Putin from Erdogan. And here's the knockout. The armed forces of Ukraine are destroying Russian landing troops with Turkish weapons. Take that. Sign for it.
Meanwhile, the Ukrainian armed forces delivered a precise strike on Russian fleet targets with Turkish weapons. A Bayraktar strike drone hit an enemy boat in the Kherson direction. The corresponding video surfaced on social media. The footage shows the drone delivering a precise strike on the boat in the river area, destroying it.
Yes, the Ukrainian armed forces are doing an excellent job. Do you want to own a real Russian-captured strike drone, QB? Then I have some very good news for you. the 429th Separate Regiment's Achilles Unmanned Systems Unit urgently needs to purchase a butts for delivering ammunition due to critical necessity. That's why a contest is being launched for a truly unique item captured by this unit, and it's almost undamaged. That very same Russian strike drone Cub. The QR code is right now on your screens. The terms for participation are in the description below this episode. And of course, glory to the armed forces of Ukraine.